Well, good evening, Dirtfish Rally friends. It's the end of Friday here at the Central European Rally. And, well, once again, Luke Barry, we've moved service parks. Do you know where we are? I've got absolutely no idea.
We're near Passau in Germany, somewhere in Germany, a concrete site or something like that. I'm not actually sure, yeah. A lot of driving for us, a lot of driving for the crews as well, but we're here, we made it to the end of the day.
We did, and my goodness me, what an entertaining day it has been. That battle at the front, we've got 4 drivers really battling it out at the front within a handful of seconds. The man who leads at the end of Friday is Thierry Neuville. Do you know what? With the conditions out there, with the road position, we might have expected that. But I think he's done a really solid job.
So do I, and you've got to consider the pressure that's on his shoulders. Somebody in his position is never going to tell us how much this carrot dangling of the World Championship is playing on his mind, but it has to be. He's totally aware of what he can achieve this weekend. History is on the line for Thierry, so he doesn't need to win the rally, does he? But to be here at the front, it's the best way to do it. You don't have to rely on other people being certain places.
Absolutely.
You just assure yourself of your own destiny. And yeah, he's driven. We were saying earlier today, he doesn't ever look like he's going to make a mistake.
No.
Everything just looks like he's always in control, which is super impressive.
On a day like this, with such challenging conditions and the fog and tricky road conditions, somehow I was able to stay very focused on my main job, which is the most important one. We don't necessarily need to win the rally, but at the moment the fight is very close. I mean, 6-7 seconds between the 4 cars, and nothing is done yet. So we need to stay focused and do the job.
Neuville is in the ascendancy right now. He's absolutely on top. He looks and sounds, is behaving like a champion in waiting. He really is, and he has been for 2 or 3 rallies now. I've been interviewing him for 15 years now, and he's a very different man. He's a very different man. He really is. Neuville, well, he's on his way. Let's see what happens. Let's talk about Sebastian Ogier then. Ogier in second place. I'm not sure whether he's happy with things at the end of the day. He won the final stage. He took half a second out of Neuville in the final stage. To me, listening to his stage end comments and listening to him at the end of the rally, I think he knows he's in a fight, and a proper fight. You know, we know how quick Ogier is on tarmac. Maybe this isn't a rally that he enjoys quite so much. In fact, I know he didn't last year. What did you make of his performance?
I think you've got to consider road position in all of this, because third is still a very good place to be on the road, but compared to the 2 Hyundais, Tanak and Neuville, who's first on the road, third is not, there is just more pollution on the road. Now, the organisers have done a good job with putting plenty of anti-cuts in, and Ogier actually credited them for that, which was nice to hear. And yeah, obviously, it's hard for us to contemplate just how much that could really affect him, but it is going to make a difference. So you would have to say Thierry had the advantage, but I think Seb, he said it was his plan, didn't he, on some of the stages, to try and not push too hard on the ones he knew were going to be slippery. He's maybe disappointed to have lost as much as he did on those, but as you say, with the gap he's got to Thierry, it's so close. Everything is still to play for.
Do you know what? I think he's beginning to feel the pressure of expectation from the team. You know, he's carried that team this year. He really has. Tanak's a driver who you can never ever write off. He is only 7.8 seconds off Neuville. The Hyundais have gone exceptionally. Hyundais, with one exception, have gone exceptionally well. Can I say that? Is that proper English?
I made sense of it. Yeah. I dare say it's actually a deceptively impressive day, because there's a lot of attention on Thierry, given everything's at stake, but Tanak is still his closest rival in the championship. In that regard, maybe not the perfect position to be in, but realistically, I know he's never going to give up on the championship, but he knows deep down that the sort of title battle he can have a bigger effect on is the manufacturers, and at that point, he's not ahead of Sebastian, but he's third. Hyundai are in a good place here with a 17-point gap to Toyota. It all closed up after what happened in Chile, but as it stands, before all the Sunday stuff comes in and complicates all of our brains, Hyundai are in the best position still to extend their lead over Toyota, and that for me is a job we had to do.
We are as close as we could today, so we try to take everything out of it.
Any struggles out there with the car, or all okay?
Yeah, on the circuit stage, not really a great feeling, but actually the other stages in the forest and I mean, especially with the tricky conditions, actually felt quite good in the car.
What about Elvin Evans, Luke? Do you know what? Again, not too far off the lead, but he's had a stage win today. He's looked really quick at times, but then the stages where he's not felt comfortable, I say he's ship time. He's not. He's just 15 and a bit off the lead. What's his job now? What does he have to do now?
It's a good question, because
does he have to get in front of? Is his one and only objective to get in front of Tanak? I think it is.
I think it has to be.
And I think he has to throw everything at getting in front of Tanak, because we saw it on the final day in Finland. We thought he had to throw everything at that, and he didn't manage it clearly. But I do believe now is the time for him to up his game, to take a couple more risks, and to put some pressure on Oit Tanak, because they don't have Hyundai. And we'll come to this, that safety net of a third driver, he's out. He's been drifting away from Oit Tanak. He needs to go the other way and get closer and put real pressure on Tanak and maybe force Tanak into an error. Can he do it?
I'm just not sure if he can. And I feel really bad saying it, but this rally almost feels like a metaphor for kind of where Evans is at with the Rally 1 car just now. We've seen, as you said, some A-stage Wednesday, some brilliant pace when it's all there, but the times when it's not, there does tend to be a little bit of a gap. And as I say, we have to be fair, he's not miles off, but when the racing is this close with the three at the front, you just losing a few seconds rather than tenths does all add up. So it'll be a difficult one. We know he's not a driver that enjoys pushing to the ragged edge when he's not comfortable with the car. And I think no matter what they seem to be able to do, he's never quite found that just magic feeling with this car.
Takamoto Katsuta, remarkable. It's impossible to overestimate the pressure. Over. It's impossible to overestimate the pressure that was on that young man's shoulders at the start of this event. And I feared for him. I genuinely feared for him. And that pressure is still there, but it's lessened. It's massively lessened. Is that a word I can use?
It is, yeah.
Good,
yeah, you can have that.
Massively lessened after the performance today. He will sleep well tonight because he's won a stage. He's shown intelligence out there. And that patience he talked about, he demonstrated brilliantly.
Yeah, I think it's really, as you say, I'm getting confused with over and underestimating there myself, but we cannot sort of discount how impressive this has been, because we know Taka's quite an emotional guy. For anybody to miss a rally is difficult. For Taka, it was huge. But Toyota wrapped around him, they've assured him that, yes, it's not a lack of faith, we just think this is the best thing for you to do. And he's proved it's worked. He's come back, I dare say, almost a different man. He seems to have understood what he needs to do. As you say, the pace was there, really great to see that was there, but that was never the question. The question was whether he could keep it all together when things were tricky, and that's what he's done. When things got trickier today, he's backed off, he's not done anything daft, and he's right where Toyota need him.
Well, another notable performance out here today was Sami Pajari, his first full day on tarmac in that Rally 1 car.
Yeah, I think he's belying his experience, is it? In his lack of experience. You just wouldn't know looking at him that he's a driver that's never driven his car on tarmac before. It's all coming quite naturally to him, and that's the key. There's nothing daunting, there's nothing scary, nothing he's really having to work at. Yes, there'll be bits of performance he'll be hoping to find, but he doesn't need to do that here. He's not registered for points for Toyota. He's purely here just to learn what we think should be more outings in that car.
Well, he did have a couple of moments though, didn't he?
It's a good
He had a couple of moments, both of which came in the same stage and in quick succession.
Yeah. Shall we hear what you had to say about it? In one particular stage, he seemed to have quite a few moments. Talk us through what happened there.
Nothing really from my side. I mean, we had a quite, especially like the first one after the service was quite nice, and I had a quite nice flow, and I guess the time was also quite nice. If you, let's say, count that lost time without the hybrid. So I think it was really, really okay, and it was really enjoyable.
Like a lot of people always assume that Finns can't be fast on tarmac, but you've done really well today.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, of course I'm trying to be quick, and but I mean, also without cars, I still have the feeling that I have had a, let's say, quite nice tarmac rallies, and I've been enjoying the tarmac rallies as well, like before, so why not also with this car?
Let's move on to our M Sport drivers. Do you know what, look, it's been a very combative persona that he's presented. He's not been happy out there. He's talking about the car not working as well as it should, worked better at Rally Legends, had things on it at Rally Legends it hasn't got here. I'm a little perplexed, and I do wonder whether all this talk of a move to these guys here maybe is just getting to him a little bit.
Yeah, it's really hard to read. The Rally Legends stuff is really interesting. it seems quite a bit bizarre. We can only imagine extra different parts and probably are essentially testing new bits for homologation. Obviously, the cars, you can't just bring new parts whenever you like. You have to get that all sorted out with the FIA and everything else. But yeah, obviously the car isn't quite working for him as he wanted. He's been quite keen to point out that he's won here in the past. He had quite a dominant win here actually in Rally 2 last year, so he feels it's not him. It's purely just not finding something with the car, but he's trying everything. He's trying everything to get on top of it, but you're right, he does seem just a bit agitated.
Yeah. Finally, Andreas Mikkelsen. I think this could be his last rally in a Rally 1 car. If you want to find out why, look
Up here.
Press the button. Press the button. A tough old day for Andreas Mikkelsen. And finally in Rally 2, well, it's been a great battle out there today between Gryazan and Oliver Solberg. Backwards and forwards between the two of them. We'll look forward to following that battle tomorrow. And look, there is one other really exciting category that we've been watching out here today.
Yeah, the Beyond Rally Women's Driver Development Programme. The 3 women are competing in this event essentially for a place in next year's Junior World Rally Championship. So there's a lot on the line for drivers who aren't particularly experienced at all. So it's been really interesting to follow their times. Licia Baudet is leading the way so far. Unfortunately, Claire Schauborn had a misfire this afternoon, so we expect her to come back out tomorrow. But yeah, not ideal, but they're not, as far as I understand it, looking to judge the person who is fastest. It's about who's the best performer, so that shouldn't affect Claire's chances of potentially getting that prize in JWRC, but we'll watch with interest tomorrow as well.
Yeah, wonderful. It really is a tremendous initiative, the best prize in rallying. Don't forget, folks, Dirtfish is primarily a rally school that teaches you how to get the best out of rally cars. Folks, it really has been a tremendous day here. Started off in Czechia, ended up in Germany. At some point we head to Austria. What do you think is going to happen? What I want is not your top 3 in the comments below. I want your top 4 because it really is so close. What is going to happen? The weather may still yet play a part in what happens out there tomorrow. I'm excited about it, Luke. It is so close. It's rare we see battles as close as this. I'm excited by it.
It's so exciting, isn't it? I can't add too much more.
Exciting. Folks, stay with us tomorrow. We're really looking forward to it. Hopefully you are, folks. We'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of the Central European Rally.